People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. News with a buzz. First thing that is popping in the news. You cannot put uncivilized people, too much of them. Cannot put all NEIGA. Cannot put wild animal in one place and expect everything to go well. We saw exactly what happened as it pertains to Sting. Whenever you put a bunch of trap artists that don't have any sorts of discipline, like to glorify, encourage badness, kickoff is like a ticking TIMEBOMB. It never works out. So said, so done. There's a party and an organizer. Parties called SANS. Organizers, promoters, not like Leng and Heavy D, decent, sensible promoter. They put on a perfect package locally, also overseas. However, with all of the proper promotion and security that they put into place, they did not expect that one individual, I am speaking about Dancehall Rebel, she and her crew would come there and cause all sorts of upheaval. Now people, dancehall artist Idonia was performing at the time in which Dancing Rebel got into some sorts of verbal altercation turned physical altercation. She and her follow-backer, they were up in the face of some men. They were telling the men what they were going to do and how bad them is. People, my disclaimer, don't know who started it, don't know who initiated it. However, you have some set of women that they are very petite in body. They feel as if them bad because them know this one or them a FUCK, this bad man. So therefore, nobody can do them any sorts of thing. But the reality of the situation is this: if you never know, people don't care who you know. Whenever people under the influence, whenever people see them friend, they are not going to take any sorts of DISS. They would rather to die. And even betterer, they would rather to take you out. Clot you up. So me just say, this is what happens when people leave them yard. It seems as if instead of going out to have a good time, entertaining and enjoying yourself, people, they are on a prowl to see who them can get in any sorts of dispute with, to show and prove. And this is what happens when people actually hate themselves, meaning BLACK people. They always want to seek and find some sorts of dispute, even in the most inappropriate places where it is not necessary. However, people, good thing is that security run in, them part them separate them, and the show goes on. Promoter has a reputation of putting on good show. One little incident, one little bad apple won't spoil the whole DAMN bunch. However, that is not the case as it pertains to Sting. The whole thing was just a shamble. The whole thing was just a disgrace. From security to promotion to the choice of artists to the choice of highlighted artists, the people that are supposed to be the main entertainer. People, whenever you put in garbage, you always get back garbage. Especially when you have persons out there that are on their own selfish agenda. Them just want FIGHT. Them just like chaos and catastrophe everywhere that they go. People, the more that you can avoid certain set of people, it is better for you at certain set of events. Point blank and period. Now the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that dancehall artist Popcaan, he is in the news again for all the wrong reasons. Now this is based on a side chick of his, a mistress of his, that claims that they've been in some sorts of relationship mostly XCXUAL, for in excess of 7 years. That young lady's name, Keela, KHIGHLAH, it is spelled. She is exposing all of her and Popcaan's dirty laundry. Based on what Keela is saying, she claims that persons are dissing her and making all sorts of comparisons to Popcaan's new girlfriend, Toni-Ann Singh, which is a beauty queen, uptown girl, brown girl. She is claiming that Toni-Ann has what they call uptown privilege. She has that brown gene, brown privilege. However, people, the fact is that these artists such as Popcaan, they have many women. Not just one, not just two. Most dancehall artists, them consider themselves to be gallus. So therefore, variety is a spice of life. If them see a girl and she looks sexy, she know how to blow, she know how to cock it up, jack it up, she can be a part of the SideCHICK entourage, as long as she knows how to keep that artist with a smile on his face. Read between the lines. Now people, here is the thing. You have some women, they are good in bed, them good with the blow, them good with the backers. However, a lot of those women, they don't make good wives. They don't make good baby mother. They don't make good people that you can carry around. And it is not because them not brown. It is not because them not come from uptown. It is mostly because they have close to or no or zero class. People, there's a saying, you can buy the school, however, you cannot buy class, you cannot buy ambition. It is something that you have to just have. Some people don't have it. Point blank and period. And I don't want to be misunderstood as if I am sort of glorifying any sorts of womanizing action. But people, when you are a star, you are a star. Membership has its privilege. However, when you are choosing the type of women that you want to experiment with, please choose carefully. Please make sure that you go through a very stringent vetting process, verifying and validating them. Because in this case, we see this lady, she is exposing all of Popcaan's secret, their dirty laundry. Now just imagine how Toni-Ann is going to feel, and unless Toni-Ann is one of those naive uptown type of girls, she would think that she is the only person that Popcaan is sleeping with. These artists travel, them go overseas. There is nothing that they're going to see in a Jamaica, even in a beauty queen, that they cannot find overseas. Pretty girl, freaky girl, all sorts of girls are overseas in the millions. You can pick, choose and refuse. They are there for the picking, especially when you have that face card, especially when you have the fame. Fame make these women jump through hoops. So therefore, if Toni-Ann feel as if, say, because she have the brown privilege, because she have the uptown privilege, or she have that beauty title behind her name, she is going to tame Popcaan. She have her next thing coming. So at the end of the day, this girl, Kayla, she is fighting a losing battle. Toni-Ann, more than likely, is just for now. Now, people, anything can change and any man can kind of calm down and settle down and decide, say, yes, me are the husband type, me want a wife, me want a family. However, that is yet to be determined. Me no know nobody like that in the dancehall space. Point blank and period. Now, the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that the promoters of Sting, Heavy D and Leng, They did an interview with Mota Baroka on his radio show the other day. And when we thought that they were going to give us some sort of apology, did some sort of positive damage control, it seems as if they were burying themselves deeper and deeper in the hole. They were going in that coffin that declared Sting DEAD. All two of them on the show, and rightfully so. Pretty much, Mota Baroka asked him a couple of questions. Why did you put up the lineup with all of these trap artists? Don't you know that that was a recipe for disaster? Bigger question. Why did you have Amari and Queenie as one of the main acts? The answers that they gave sounds very irrational. It did not make any sort of sense. Pretty much them claim say these artists, they are young. These artists was not used to the new venue. Maybe next year when they keep the show and they are more acclimatized to the environment, they will act proper. That is not the problem. The problem is, like I said before, you cannot put too much wild animals in a confined space. Their natural instincts is going to reel up. Their instincts to want to FIGHT and create a scene is going to overpower any sorts of popo that Leng would have had at the show for security measures. They are just a set of indiscipline, ex-chopper, still chopping, turn dancehall artists. They never had a decent bone in them body. They have not changed as yet. They have not rehabilitated as yet. So therefore, them just do what them know how to do. Them no know any sorts of better. Them ignorant, them dunce, them fool, them wild. When he was asked, why did you bring Queenie and Amari? He said that it was based on the law of supply and demand. They were creating all sorts of chaos and catastrophe. When they were promoting the show, before they listed Amari and Queenie, the tickets were not selling. However, as soon as they put them on the headline, tickets are sell like hot bread, people. Me no know nothing about that. Me no know if Queenie and Amari could have been the deciding factor for anybody going to the show. Now I understand Jamaicans on a whole, them like FUCKRY, them love mix up, them love passa. They are entrenched with the social media people them. So therefore, maybe a few. However, I am speaking generally. Pretty much every day and Leng, they were avoiding all the questions, and the ones that they actually answered, it did not make much sense. They did not have any sorts of regrets. Well, they regret that the show was a disaster. However, it seems as if they did not see anything wrong that they did. People, one of the ways that persons move on is to apologize, is to not be in denial. These two persons are in deep denial. The denial cannot get any sorts of deeper. It is in the abyss of hell. So that is why we should not be surprised by the results that we see, because they don't have the proper marketing skills. They don't have the proper planning skills. They lack the reasoning ability. They lack every sort of professionalism, and even worse, they have very big egos. This egos is what led to the demise of Sting. This ego is what led to people looking at them as a clown society as it pertains to promotion. They are the worst. And in my estimation, I am not going to say Sting is DEAD. However, whichever show them come back with, It is yet to be determined if them can actually convince people after what they did to them, after this disastrous show, to convince people to actually follow that brand, follow that show for our next year. But then again, when I think about my Jamaican people, they are gullible, they are vulnerable. People will diss them, fool them, and then come back next time and trick them once more again. People, it is yet to be determined what will happen. What is going to be the final outcome as it pertains to Sting and Everyday, point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos straight to the point, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. Point blank and period.